What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So came out here today, spent a couple of hours kind of fine cleaning the garage a little bit. Still a lot more work to do, but taking a little break from it. Overall, super happy on how everything's turning out. Once everything goes to their home locations, we're gonna have a lot more space. Now, if you guys haven't seen the last video, we shifted half the garage. If you guys enjoy like the off-day content stuff, be sure to check it out and you know, tell me what you guys think. So right now it's almost 9 o'clock. The sun's already setting right there, and I actually just got back home like 30 minutes ago, and I went to the parts store to drop off oil. Parts store only allow X amount of oil per store, so I had to go to 2 stores, and then went to the storage unit to drop off a bunch of stuff that we piled up yesterday. And it looks like I'm gonna have to make a second trip because I want to go through everything on that shelf right there, and there's a lot of stuff that I can definitely move to the storage unit because they have not been touched in a long time. Also went shopping for groceries and stuff, so got a bunch of cat foods and drinks and stuff for myself because it's been getting hot here lately. But anyways, a break from the garage. I kind of want to hang out in the garage a little bit more because I'm about to go live stream. Granted, it is the weekend, but I want to do something that I've been contemplating on doing for quite a while. I want to port a K20 oil pump because after cleaning my garage out, I have 2 oil pumps. One right here is for that K20. This one is a spare one that came out of my windowed K20. If you guys don't remember, in 2024 we threw a rod out of the motor, sitting right there in half, and I want to port this oil pump. Now, I would be okay to run it just the way it is, right? Even though it came out of a blown engine. Just want to let you guys know that these K20 pumps, along with the B series stuff, you can open, inspect, clearance them, whatever you got to do. They're serviceable in this sense. So the K20 pump, I've already opened it up. There were some light scoring on the gear, sanded it nice and flat. It does not have a lot of play because in the service manual there is a specification for the amount of shaft play it could have, but it barely has any play whatsoever. I'm pretty sure this pump is good. The pickup tube is all nice and clean, and I figured because it's a spare pump and I still want to do an all motor build later, I want to try to port this. I've been doing a lot of research throughout the years, just never attempted to do it. But you know, in between all those years, I've acquired a lot of tools. So I do have the die cutters right here, these guys. I do have sanding cones if I need to smooth anything out. I do got a bunch of them in here. If you guys don't know what these are, people use this for porting, and I want to attempt to do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? If it over port it or put a hole in it, I mean, I'll just weld it shut and do it again. But anyways, I'm gonna gather all my stuff right now, guys. I'm gonna get this thing set up on the table, and we're gonna attempt to port a K20 oil pump. Why not? If you guys didn't know, you can get the same Type S oil pump in the base model RSX, automatic or 5-speed. I've been using all of these on the K24s that you guys see me put together here on the channel. I have not bought a new one aside from my built motor that made 600. You can remove these 10mm bolts right here, and it'll separate the pickup tube from the pump. The 2 next to the gear are longer than the other 3. There's 5 total. Pickup tube, pump itself with the gear. The gear does come off right there. I'm gonna put that off to the side. This part stays on the housing. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean these real quick. I'm cleaning all the oil out of this because when you get a bunch of aluminum everywhere and it kicks up on the oil, it's hard to kind of like free them up because it kind of sticks to the oil. When you hear porting, people think like, you know, all the inside is going to be grinded all nice and smooth and you're smoothing all the castings or whatever. When it comes to the oil pump, realistically, we're not like porting it to make it a bigger, you know, alleyway. What we're trying to do is, if you kind of look, I know it's hard to focus with the GoPro because it doesn't focus, but you see the hole where it kind of drops into this hole right here for the flow of the oil. It's like a cliff, right? It's like a 90 degree. We want that to be a smooth, like slide transition rather than it being kicked off like Sparta and then going down a hole, right? So we're just gonna clean that up. And then there's like the edge at the very corner back there. Those are all edges. We want to smooth all that flat and make it, you know, where the oil flows and it doesn't like hit a wall or edge. It's supposed to just kind of like, you know, just flow into this hole. So we're not gonna like port this too big, but we are gonna open it up just a little bit at the very top over there, and mainly this ridge. So that is our goal. Okay, I'm gonna take some pictures and such so we can throw it at the end of the video, just show you guys like a more visual of the before and after. Earmuffs on, safety glasses. Do take note that the outside does not have a lot of meat, so make sure you don't take off too much, a little bit at a time, right? I'm gonna start on the inside, take off some material in here real quick. Okay, so I think it might be a little bit better if I use a triangulated one. I want to show you guys the rough cut before I get too far. So you guys remember we had that little cliff, that little 9-degree cliff. Now it's like a slide, you know what I mean? So I don't want to get too deep over there because there's literally like no material back here, so you don't want to like puncture through this right here. So I'm gonna leave that back corner alone where you can kind of see that U right there, that U. I'm gonna leave that alone, but yeah, we're making progress. I do definitely need a new vise because, you know, once this thing catches, it's like it goes all crazy. But anyways, this side ported as well too. This is a dowel, this is metal, so I'm cutting the aluminum, a little bit of the metal, but not like all the way to this end here. But you can see kind of ported that a little bit as well too. So I'm gonna get into the sanding part, and I think I'm gonna do a cone style because I do have cylinder and I have a cone style which is like more triangulated. I'm gonna start with probably 80 grit to kind of like shape it, and then we'll smooth it out with I have 120, I have 240. So I'm gonna see what this does first. If it takes off too much material, we'll switch it. Also Amazon special. I feel like this might take off some material, but I do need to kind of fine tune the edges a little bit. Not shabby. Not shabby. I did go back and cut a little bit more on the edge right there. There's still a little lip, but again, you don't want to go too much in that corner because you can punch a hole through. And I did go back to clean up the edge towards the outside of the lip right here because there was still a sharp edge. Went back in with the grinder on the ball one right here, and I kind of just like, I dug it out like this. Now it's all nice and smooth. It's a little tricky with the sanding cone because it's like just as large as this opening here, so I'm kind of like touching the left and right side edge and kind of take it off material. But once it's closed, I don't think it'll be an issue, but I am trying to smooth it out. So right now this is all cut up with 80, and I'm probably going to step it up to the 120 to smooth it out a little bit more. Now we're on the 240, and let's go ahead and finish out this port. I'm gonna take off this plug, the spring, and the plunger because there's metal shaving everywhere. So I hosed down the pump and got it all cleaned up. Hopefully all the shavings are out of here. It looks clean all the way through. And I want to give you guys another look before we close this thing up. The last grit sandpaper that I had was 240, so this is the most we can get out of it. It looks good though. The port is definitely a lot larger than when we started, and also that taper off is going to help the flow of oil a lot. Now I did kind of go through the dowel just a little bit right here. You can see that little half moon. It's just a dowel to align the pump like this side, so I'm not worried about it affecting anything. If I can change it, I will. If I can't find another replacement by the time I use this pump, not a big deal. But poured it all the way through, all over the edges, over here, right there. Pump's looking good. I have no doubt this thing is going to flow really well. And also, before we close this thing up, we're going to shim the spring just a little bit. So the plunger goes in right there, and then you take a little washer, not a lot, it doesn't have to be super thick, like a really tiny like the thickness of like this one right here on this bolt, and then you can put it like all the way inside there, or the opposite way, because if you have a washer with a hole in it, you can literally just sit it on that nipple, which is what I did on the other pump. You can just put a washer there, and that'll bump up oil pressure by like 10 or 15 psi, and that's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it'll help. So I need to find a washer before we assemble this thing back together, but just want to give you guys a quick little look. First time porting ever, and I know I didn't have all the correct stuff because I did notice that the carbide burr was getting caked up with the aluminum, and I'm sure there's a specific burr for aluminum. I just got to look deeper to find out part number, brand, so on and so forth, for when I do the intake manifold. We don't want to gum up the blade. So also too, the little sanding cone, it's a little long and it's a little thick, so it was kind of like chewing out the edge a little bit here. You can see how it's like not a straight line, because when I was trying to dig that way, it was eating here. I tried to dig that way, it was eating there. But I'm sure we can find some, you know, sanding cones to accommodate something as small as this. But as far as porting the manifold go, that kit that I have will work perfectly fine. So let me find a washer, guys, and assemble this thing back together. We got our washer right here. A little oil on the plunger. Now, my washer is a little bit larger than the spring, so I can't put it in the plunger. I'm gonna put it on the plug side. So now we put the spring inside, right there, and then the washer goes onto the nipple right there. Flip it upside down. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a look. There's a washer right there in between. Clean off the gear one more time. Gear goes on. Dabble some oil in here as well too. Make sure the pickup tube is also clean. Go ahead and put the pickup tube onto the pump. Remember, 2 long bolts closer to the gears. 3 shorter ones on the outside. Everything has a torque spec. I got 1 UGA on these 10 mil bolts. Spins nice and smooth. I can hear the fluid moving inside the oil that we put in to lubricate it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this thing up, wrap it back up, and save this for a future project. All motor build, I'm sure. Might happen sooner than you think. I've been talking about this all motor K build for quite some times now with my tuner, and I haven't really put it into motion because some of the things shifted around this year with my cars. Now my goal is just to get all my cars to work and run, and honestly, I just don't have another spare K24 long block, and I'm doing strictly K24 long block and not the typical 2420 just to see what it will do. Plus, more widely available in the junkyard. So when money and time permits, we'll do this all motor build. I already know what pistons, what rods, what cams I'm going to be running, what manifold, what exhaust manifold, all that stuff to shoot for the goal we are shooting for. And I guess we'll kind of shed light more on that when we get to that process. But that K20 pump that I just ported, I'm gonna use it. I've never poured it before. I don't know how well it's gonna flow, but I kind of know the average PSI of factory pump flows because my KRX has an oil pressure gauge in it. So I'll take reference of that car, and then when we use this pump, we'll kind of like, you know, compare it then. But the pump, put it away. It's wrapped up. It's ready to go. I put some napkins just to make sure oil and stuff don't come out of it while it's sitting. So I'm gonna save this for a future build. As I'm sitting here, I just realized that I had this package sitting here for quite a while now, and it never slipped my mind because it kind of just blended with all the other boxes. So I want to open this up with you guys really quickly. This is one of the key puzzle to my blue sedan when we do all the upgrades. This package right here is some versatile wiring. He's located out here in the Pacific Northwest, and he is like a wiring guru. He does a lot of harnesses, conversion harnesses, chassis adapters, and things like that. And I bought this item from him for my FuelTech 550, but the box is a lot larger than what the harness actually is. So I'm curious to see what's inside. Cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. Right here we have FuelTech Plug and Play 0204 K Series harness for FuelTech 550. Ah, dang. You know what? Make it a little easier. Ooh. Okay, so this is what I bought. There's another one in here. Ooh. And there's another one under that. So before we dive into those, this one right here no label, but this is my Fuel Tech conversion harness. Pretty cool. It says right there all the pinouts for the plugs, and then obviously we have some instructions right here, right there. That's freaking awesome. Now Fuel Tech is very tricky because they're very specific on where the wire is supposed to go, and I wanted to try out Versatile Wiring. I did speak to him before purchasing this to make sure that this is how Fuel Tech wants the conversion harness to be made, because of how specific all the wirings are supposed to be and where they're supposed to go. So right here we have, ooh, this thing is beautiful. This thing is freaking beautiful. Okay, so right here is the Fuel Tech 550 adapter. This adapts to whatever engine harness you are running, because we're not running a full Fuel Tech harness. This plugs into whatever harness you are running, right? And then this goes over to your Fuel Tech right here, which in my case, 550. Right here we have the male plug for this guy here, and I'm sure the instructions tells you where all the pins are supposed to go. So we're gonna have to build this once we install this. So this package over here, I have no idea what's inside because I only ordered that, but we have a, ooh, this is a fuel pump relay kit. So Versatile also offers fuel pump relay kits, and this thing is freaking beautifully made. It's got the ground wire, the connection for your fuel pump, power wire right there, relay box, and obviously a whole coil of wire to run from the front to the rear. And this thing has been tested up to a 750 LPH pump. Definitely a must-have if you're running a big fuel pump, or at least like a 320 plus. So shout out to Versatile Wiring for this. Last package right here, dual fan relay kit. Versatile Wiring offers a dual fan relay kit, and I actually have one of this kit already installed in my blue all-wheel drive sedan, and let me tell you guys, super easy to install. We have a note. Thanks for your support, not just me, but the community. Shit, man, thank you for, you know, helping out the community with your awesome products, because most of this stuff is literally plug and play. And also thank you for the support, because you've also sent a few stuff over this way a couple of times, and I appreciate that a lot. So right here, we have the dual relay setup. Right here, we have two aftermarket wiring plugs for fan 1 and fan 2. And then to pull signals and such, we have the factory plug right there for like an OBD1 chassis. And if you're OBD0, you can just either swap your plug to OBD1 style or swap this one to OBD0 style. But it should be the same for OBD2 and OBD1. So this right here, if you're not using the secondary fan, you can just remove one of the fuse inside of here to disable whichever fan you're not running, which is what I did in my blue sedan because I only run one fan. But big shout out to Versatile Wiring for sending over this care package along with the Fuel Tech 550 conversion. Definitely gonna try this out soon because we're gonna be tearing into the blue sedan after Race Wars, and I'm debating on going Fuel Tech with the whole new setup. But I guess we'll figure it out then. Shout out to Versatile Wiring, guys. If you're interested in any of his products, man, check out the link in the description below. We are gonna wrap it up for this video right here. Hope you guys enjoy a little bit of the K20 oil pump porting. It's my first time doing it. Let me know what you guys think, if I should clean it up more, smooth it out more, whatever the case is. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around, the homie CRV is coming back tomorrow, so I might show you guys a little bit of that. If you guys want to see some CRV content between the Turbo CRV and my brother CRV, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.